and welcome to another edition of Conversations. I'm Leisha Lee, and I'm so happy to be with you all today. How are you? I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. And today we have a very special guest with us, Deaconess Doris. Yes. So, ladies, now, I know you all heard this song before. I'm not going to sing it, but it talks about it says something to the fact of you can buy me diamonds, you can buy me pearls, take me on a cruise around the world, something like that. Maybe you know I'm worth it. So today's topic is a woman's worth. And we're going to discuss that today. Now, the first question I have is, when hearing the term a woman's worth, how does that resonate with you? Anybody can start.
I think it addresses the question of value, because from our earliest birth and our training, even in our childhood, there's a certain value that is placed on people because we come into this world as a part of a family. Okay, even if that family connection is broken at some point in time, as being a part of that unit, then there are certain things, expectations that come with our role and our association with a family. Sometimes it's not the bestest, but it's there. So throughout our life, we really have to deal with this concept of value as it pertains to the relationships that we are a part of, as well as our individual viewpoint about our worth. So it's something that we have to deal with and address throughout our lifetime.
Okay, that's good.
I agree with Pastor Paul. I do think it falls in how you were brought up. I know a lot of people at the time of birth, sometimes you have parents who talk over you to let you know who you are, to be confident in who you are. Don't let anyone take away something that belongs to you. So I do believe it has a lot to do with your upbringing. It has a lot to do with things you dealt with, to let you know where you stand as far as you're concerned, how you feel about your inner self, not outer self.
I agree with all of that, and I also believe it deals with boundaries as well, knowing what to accept and what not to accept from other people. So setting your limits, not letting people run over you or mishandle you or misuse you because you know who you are and you know your worth.
Okay.
I agree, because coming up, my mother was a strong woman, so she taught us a lot coming up. And, strong is like in our family, you have to do this. You got to learn certain type of things as you go up, what you should do, how you want to be treated. You present that way to the next person too. And another thing is that when we was coming up, she was telling us, you respect yourself, and everyone respect you. So as a woman worth, just me in general, I'm worth a lot. I don't need nobody to tell me what I'm worth, because that was the way we was raised up. You don't need nobody to tell you. If you know it, then you live it, and you got to show it to your kids as they grow up. So
yeah, as you were talking, it made me realize that a woman, when she knows her worth, brings value to any situation she's in. So whatever role she's playing, whether it's mom, whether it's on the job, because you know your worth, and you know your capabilities, you know what you can do, what you can expand to do, what you can retract to do, you bring value to each and every situation.
And I think that also has a lot to do with whether or not we've been brought up in families where there's a strong matriarchal influence. Yeah. If the influence of the mother or whoever that dominant female is in the family, because they can bring us perspective to us, which addresses our worth and our value as females, but they may have problems trying to relate to what it's like by giving a male viewpoint because they're not males. So we have to really, it's important that we understand, even throughout our life, about the importance of valuing what were those voices like that were speaking to us and addressing us and affecting our viewpoint about ourselves and about our purpose in life. Because if there is a joint sharing, which is communicated by the presence of a father and a mother in the household, then they can bring balanced viewpoints, hopefully, to how we grow and mature. But if there's, and that happens a lot, there's that absence of a certain influence. If the father is the dominant influence and there is no real motherly presence there, it does affect how we look at ourselves and our worth. But if it's one of those things where the opposite is there, then again, we're going to get a little bit more of the female viewpoint about life and its importance and how we should look at it. But where there's balance, that helps, because there's a reason why God created it, so that the man and the woman both have a part in that process.
That's so good. That's so good, because I never really thought about it that way, having that balance from the male and the perspective and a female perspective. If you have the mother and the father in the house and they're both building you up and telling you what you're worth and how you should value yourself. So the next question I have is, do you believe that in some cases some women place their value or their worth in more in things or the opposite sex, and why or why not?
I do. I think a lot of women will say because they have a man or they have a male figure in their life, it's a come up for them, that, they're finally at a place and now they feel assured within themselves because they have a man. Not to bash any of the men. It's all about the woman and what she feels inside. So I just want to put that out there. But I think a lot of women will do whatever they can do to satisfy and please that man instead of satisfying and pleasing themselves. They always put him first before, not all women, but they do put the man first before they put themselves. So,
Yeah, I feel like some women who don't know their worth thinks that that man is the worth, or that object, that car, that house is the worth, and that is what makes them valuable, instead of them just knowing who they are and that they are the valuable one.
Yeah, I agree, because I don't know about that. I'm not putting no man first. If, like me, I have a child, so my child would be first, and then it would be me, and then the men. I'm not married. I don't know no other way. That's the way I know. Until then, it's a life learning situation. So, but it is a lot put their self. As a woman, I will put myself first. I would, and whatever else goes along. You know what I'm saying? But in the same token, a woman will put men first or other situation first before their self. If you're talking about us, we do us. Now, if it's me, like I said, it's my child first, and then it's me.
Yeah.
Because that's what she's a woman too. So this we teaching. That's what we teaching. This is what we teaching. So if we want, this is what we want. We let them know that their worth are good, then anybody else's worth is good. So for me, I would say me. I would put as a woman, if I didn't have a child, it would be me. But I do have a child. It's my daughter, then me. And then whoever next will be next.
That's good too. And do y'all think that when you have children, do you think that your value grows, or you want to increase the value in yourself so that you can show your child or your children what they should, how they should value themselves, or what they should not, I don't want to say present, because it's like you're doing it for other people, but how they should value themselves, or what is in them that they should value or think worthy, how they should think worthy of themselves. Do you think that it shows them that if you increase it in yourself?
Yes, because they watch what you do. So if you putting yourself first and not a man, because I'm not married, then that should show them as they growing up, I'm first. It's me. I'm going to take care of me. And, you're not teaching her, this is what you're supposed to do for a man to be after you or whatever. I think if she take care of herself first, she will always be first. She will know how to do. This is not something that you portray and she fake. You always take care of yourself first. A man will always come along, you take care of you first. That's what I say, it's always got to be you. If you use it, and I give her standards. You have to have standards as growing up. Don't cross the line. Don't break your standards for nobody. You
Right.
can give it to them, not saying that they will always listen and take it.
Right.
But you have to keep giving it to them so they will learn. So she had standards growing up like I did. As, you know, growing up, we just hope that they get it. You know what I'm saying? So if she get it, she will be good. Because you're going to take care of you first.
Yeah. Now, go ahead. Pastor Boo, you was about to say something?
Yes, I was going to say that when you were speaking, my mind went back vividly to times in my life. I am not a tall person. I have been the shorter and the smaller in my family from childhood. So I often share with everybody that I was so hurt when my mom told me I wasn't going to get any taller. I got a little fatter, but I didn't get taller. But anyway, I remember standing in the mirror, and that was before we had all the other things that were enabled us to, we can change our hair length now, we can change our hair color. We can do so many things to help us to have a positive outlook about how we look. But I remember standing in the mirror, and I was just looking at it, and I was saying, I don't like the way my eyes are. I don't like this nose, this little pug nose. I'd like to have one that's a little keener and not so round, and all of the other things that we look at, not understanding when I was looking at myself at that time that I was still a young person. And what I was looking at on the outside would change over the course of the years. All I was doing was looking at what it looked like right then, but my understanding was limited. But as we grow and as we mature and things change, I can change my hair color, I can do this, I can do that, I can lose weight, I can gain weight, all the other things that we think we need to do in order to increase the value of how we see ourselves. But the most important thing is, what are we thinking on the inside? So I really don't think like a person who's 5 feet. When I go to the doctor's office and he says, well, let's see how tall you are, I said, well, I think I may have shrunk about 1 inch, doc, since the last time I was here. But the point that I make is that when I go there, inwardly, even though there may be things that are going on in my physical temple, in my mental outlook and stuff, I strive to think about like a person who is able to defeat a giant in my life, because my confidence is not in what looks like in the physical. My confidence is in the Lord God, who has taught me that I can do all things through Christ, who is the one who gives me strength. My confidence is in the words of encouragement that I've received from my mom and from my dad. My dad was the spiritual influence in my life, even more so than my mom at first. But over the course of the years, each of them in their own way sowed things into me, which helped me not to be looking overly much on how tall or how short I am. But the Lord blessed me to carry a certain level of confidence so that I don't go around talking about what I think are the limitations of this physical thing. But I keep thinking about the big God that I serve, about his promises to me and for my children and my family and so forth. So my confidence is in the promises of God and not in what manifests in the physical,
Now, do you think that some women who may not have a relationship with God, they may not know the Christ-like walk of life, and what they have determines their value? Do you think that they put more value, or they put more value in themselves because of what they have or what they accomplish? Will that like, I don't want to say it determines it, but if they lose everything they have today, does that mean that they're no longer valuable? Does that worth go away?
Life is filled with women who are not Christians at this point in time, but they have the capacity to overcome a lot of things and obstacles and setbacks and things in their lives, simply because they, whatever that obstacle was, a lot of things that come, the tests and the things that come into our lives are there for the purpose of helping us to grow, helping us to develop a healthy outlook about ourselves and what our possibilities are in life. So it goes better because life goes better with Christ in it. But it doesn't say that a person can have and enjoy a fulfilling life if the Lord is not there. It has to do with their outlook about their possibilities and what they can do.
Go ahead.
I think life is, as all of us know, it's about ups and it's about downs. I think there are a lot of women who may not have God in their life, may not understand the biblical aspect of it. However, I do know that there are people who put the value because they have a plaque on the wall. They put the value because they have a nice car, they have a nice house. That's a great accomplishment. However, it doesn't make you who you are, because if you were to lose all of those things, that should not put you in a state of depression. It shouldn't put you in a state of, I'm not worthy. Things happen, you know, and it's all about you to say to yourself, okay, I lost it, but I can get it back. But it doesn't dictate that I am this person. But I do know there are a lot of people who do hold value in materialistic stuff, you know. But, you know, it's an accomplishment to graduate from college. It's an accomplishment to say, I went and purchased a house, my second house, my third house. I got the car, my dreams. That's an accomplishment. But that car does not make you who you are, because you can have it today and it can be gone tomorrow. You know, the Bible says that you are fearfully and you are wonderfully made. And I think the point is you understand who created you and whose you are, to understand the confidence that you have inside yourself. Doesn't mean that if you put on red lipstick today, that's going to make you look pretty. Doesn't mean if you're going to get some eyelashes, it's going to make you look pretty. None of that determines that. I can go outside with a baseball cap on and some jeans and sweats, and I would think I'm cute. And that's it. You know, I don't have to put makeup on. I don't have to, you know, to do this facade thing of who I am. But I do believe there are a lot of people who put their investment in things, and if they don't have this, then that means they are nothing, which is not true.
Yeah,
That's good, because we had a discussion last night. It was me, Jabba, and Kelly, and they was saying is an event coming up that we're going to, and they was like, oh, so you want to wear makeup? I said, no, that's not me. I said, I look good the way I look. I don't care if you don't like it, but that's not me. I said, to me, I'm not shading nobody, but to me, makeup mean I'm made up. So when you're made up, to me, it's a different character. You use a totally different character. I said, I'm me. I'm going to be who I am. So if I'm made up, then I'm a different character. That's like, to me, I'm being phony. I said, what I got to be made up for? This is the way God made me. I said, but I'm not knocking who wear makeup, because my daughter was the main one. Said, oh yeah, I'm getting my face beat. I said, you can beat whatever. And there's a lot of people in the church say, hey, let me make you up. I said, I'm not made up. I'm me. I'm not fake. I just don't wear makeup. I'm just plain old Mary. That's just me. Because I want people to take me for who I am. With the makeup, without makeup. So I don't wear anything. I don't do anything. I don't even wear lip gloss. And my mother was the same way too. She would do something every now and then, but that's just not me. It's like when you made up, you been another different character. You know what I'm saying? The whole sass come, the little sweet talk. My mother always told me, don't be fake with people, be you. If I'm dating somebody and I'm being like a totally different person, I'm talking like with my little sexy voice. If you get together, you marry, he's going to see the real you. Yeah. So that's what I do. I give him the real me, 24/7. That's what you're going to get.
I just want to chime in and say, when I think back to when I wasn't as close to Christ, or when I didn't know God not saying that I know him all the way, but I'm getting to know him even better, and just the confidence that he gives me because of his stableness, because of his faithfulness and consistency. So when he says in his word, I know the plans I have for you, I have confidence in my future. Even no matter what's going around, we talked about things failing, you could lose it all, this and that. But when things happen, I have confidence. Okay, God, you knew I'd be right here in this second. And you know how it's going to work out. So I have confidence that you have good things ahead of me. So my hope is in you. And me having confidence in him takes the pressure off of me I got to do it myself. He's the one that helped my confidence to build, to help me know I'm worthy of this because Jesus loves me. He died for me. So that makes me worthy. It makes me excited and happy about life now. You know, when before I'm like, man, how this going to work out? Got to get this done. I want to get here. How am I going to get here? How am I going to accomplish this? But when you put God in it and when you trust him, like really get to know him and know that he does have plans for you, know that he does love you. He knows the number of hairs even locked up in these locks. He knows. He knows. It's just like, wow, okay, I can relax a little bit. I don't have to be in control. I can let him take the lead and follow his lead.
That's good. Now, y'all already kind of touched on like how you value yourself or how you feel of your worth, but I just want to go ahead and ask the question anyway. How should you value yourself as a woman? Now, this is outside of being a mother, outside of being the CEO, outside of being, you know, the person over the family, outside of being a wife. How should you as a woman value yourself?
I think you should show respect to yourself. Now, I want to go back to, I'm going to keep your question, Leisha, but I want to go back to what Pastor Poole said. There are a lot of women who are not brought up in a mother and father household, right. Which I was a part of a family who didn't have a mother and father. My mother raised me. So I'm going to say this, it takes examples of other people. They said it takes a village to raise you. And I think it takes that grandmother, you know, to tell you who you are. But you definitely have to have that respect. You have to have the assurity of who you are, which is easier said, hard to do. And I'm going to say that, not in a bad way, but when you realize that part of your life can become lonely. And a lot of people may not understand the respect of, you know, well, I'll carry myself a certain kind of way. I only want to deal with, you know, right. Not bad to people, but you just want to be around a group of people who are not always in trouble, if you know what I'm saying. You just want to have a certain place in your, you know, a certain standard that you have for your life. But I do believe it's all about respecting yourself, all about having standards, and it's also about your character. And I believe you can tell a person about who they are without saying a word. If they show you who they are, if they show a type of representation of who they are, then you know that's who they are. Because I've seen people who talk one way, but react a whole different way. So it does take a lot of people to help tell you this is who you are. You're a woman of God, or God has a plan for you, or whatever the case may be, but you have to know for yourself. Not a man is going to make you better. You know, not a car is going to make you better. Not a, you know, having all these materialistic things will make you better, but knowing who you are, even if you're living in a one-bedroom shack by yourself, you should be able to say, you know what, I'm still worth a lot, you know? Mm-hmm. So it does take a lot to push you and build you. But I just wanted to touch that base on a lot of people dealing with single families, because sometimes the mother or the father, if you're being raised, sometimes don't have the time to encourage their children, to let them know how beautiful, how wonderfully they're made, you know, because they're busy trying to do other things. So it does take something that you have to seek after within yourself.
I just want to share that in my late 20s and early 30s, I put value on myself. Like if I was to become a wife and a mother, I thought that would make me worthy and make me valuable. I became a wife, but he passed away. I never became a mother. So I really had to depend on God, because in my mind, that's what made me as a woman valuable. producing a family, helping that family to thrive, nurture that family, and my life didn't go that way. So it's like I had to really depend on God to really show me you're valuable without that. So when people get those ideas and those notions in their head of this makes me valuable, that makes you valuable, what happens when it's taken away? You have to have him to really center you and ground you and let you know that you are valuable. You were born this way. You need to walk worthy of it. You need to walk in it.
That's good because I always thought like, well, not always. It's when my father passed, and they were saying I was strong, and I never seen it. I never seen the strong part. Pastor had told me, I was in here cleaning up. He was like, your father couldn't leave until he put strong in you. And I was like, but I don't feel strong. But it's not a feeling. It's something that you know that's in you. And I always had my mother and father. I mean, all my life. I always had them. But as walking in Christ now, the word really helps you, you know, to learn your worth and everything. It helps you. It really helped you because coming up, I used to go to the club a lot. But I just liked the music. And I used to go with nobody dancing or nothing like that. I just was going because that's what I like. I like the music or whatever. But when you get older and a light clicks on, once I had a kid, I was like, no, I'm not going that way no more. It's different now. And thank you. And I said, a light pop on. You don't want to live the way you live. Once you have a kid, you want to change. Whether you think you was living a good life, but when you have a kid, you don't want nothing that you did. You don't want them to do it. So that was a lot for me. So it was all about, I'm growing up now. I have a kid, so I got to do better things. And I never look back. I never said, I just want to go out and do something because I'm bored. I never was bored. I make my own self laugh. I never thought it was like, sometimes my daughter would say that, I'm bored. How? You know what I'm saying? She don't say it no more, but you know, that's how it is. I'm never bored. I can make my own self laugh, but as you grow up, I was in a word, and the word is good. The word will penetrate you. You think you're going to go do something else, or you going, you know, a word will pop back in your head and you'll remember. So it's not like I wasn't here for all these years for God not to let me know what my worth is. I'm still here. Yeah. That's worth enough right there. Amen. That's it.
All of that, that's so good. And I really think that everything that you ladies shared today is something that somebody's watching can take and apply to their lives. I feel like it's somebody is watching. Somebody need this. Somebody needed your word. Somebody needed your word. Somebody needed your word and your word. And all of that fits in. And all of that can help someone else who's watching to know it's not all about the material things. It's not what you don't have or what you do have. We want to take this time to thank Pastor Tony Smith and Victorious Ministries for allowing us to be a part of the vision. Unfortunately, we are out of time. Those of you who are watching, feel free to like, comment, and share. We want to know your output or your take on what we've shared today and what we've conversed about today. Until next time, bye-bye.